Hello, G's here, and these are the top 10 rides at Thorpe Park in England. Yeah, what is that intro? So coming at number 10 is Walking Dead the ride. This ride is I think it's a enclosed launch coaster. Might be by Intamin. I haven't checked. I'm sorry. It's not super thrilling. It's not very fast, although it has some good fire effects. It's completely dark inside, and it has some very good theming as well. So that's a plus. And it's just quite an enjoyable ride. Yeah, it's well themed, but it's not better than the ones that are higher up. That is why number 9 is Samurai, and this is a mobile top spin, I think it's called. It's pretty intense sometimes. When I rode it, it was riding very slow, but the reason it's very thrilling and it's quite fast. The reason I put it this low is because it makes you feel very sick. Because all you're doing is you're going up, down, around, and then you're spinning. And then you're doing more spinning. So other than that, that's basically the whole ride, and that's why I think it's overrated, and I have it here on number 9. And number 8 is Rumba Rapids. This is next to Nemesis and Ferdo. It's a rapids ride. It's in the corner of the park, like the right back corner. It's quite tucked away. I actually hadn't ridden it before, and it surprised me. I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. Obviously it doesn't get you that wet, but I think the theming is quite fun. And it's just quite a fun rapids, and it doesn't make you feel nauseous or whatever. It's not exactly thrilling, it's just a really fun ride. So I just quite enjoy it, and I would recommend it to anyone. It usually, if you go near the end of the day on a hot day, it usually doesn't have a big queue. You go right before the park closes, but the park was very empty when I did ride it, so it probably can rack up like a half an hour queue, but I still would recommend it. It's very good. But I do in fact think that Rush is better. This is near the front, is a hammer swing? Is it known as? I'm not sure, but it's quite a tall one. It basically is like a giant swing. It's as mentioned by Digital Dan, it's extremely fast. Well, like not fast, but like it cycles very fast and it ends very quickly, so it's very short. But I think it's deserving of the number 7 spot, because it is still very actually thrilling, and the lap bar's very loose in a good way, so you get lots of airtime when you're coming down, and it's quite intense. Number 6 is a bit of a controversial one. It's actually Colossus, and I put this here because it's a proper coaster, and the layout's great. I really like it. It's just, I think it could be so much more. It's so rough, but the layout is so good, and the theming around it takes just the right amount of space, and it's just the exact good height. I don't know, but it's just, it doesn't reach its full potential because of how rough it is. And I know it's like the first 10 looping coaster or whatever, but I don't care because it's really rough and it's not that enjoyable anymore. And now we've reached the top 5. Number 5 is in fact the tidal wave, because this ride on a hot day is just perfect. It gets you ridiculously wet. Like, I remember once, the first time I went on it, and probably the only time I went on it, I was going down the drop, and you go into splashdown and you can't see anything around you. All you see is just water, and that's at least for 3 whole seconds. And then water comes crashing down behind you, and it's so much. Apparently it's like 2.5 bathtubs or something, and that's just crazy, because that much for a log flume ride, sort of. It's just insane, and it sounds ridiculous, but it's not rough or anything, and it's really enjoyable. Now number 4 is where we get into the really good coasters. And number 4 is in fact Nemesis Inferno. This is in the corner of the park. It's themed to a volcano eruption sort of in a jungle, and it's a really good B&M invert. It's probably my second favourite B&M invert. I have only been on 2, and the other one is in fact Nemesis, and I find that a lot funner. But this is still a very good ride. I really don't think it's rough in the slightest. Really intense with interlocking corkscrews. I think it was the first pair of interlocking corkscrews. It's really intense. The helixes are good. I really like the theme around it. I think it's underrated compared to stuff like, I don't know, Walking Dead or something. But I think it's just a really good ride in general, and perfect level of intensity and everything like that. Now, from here on out, you could probably guess the top 3. It is, number 3 is Saw the Ride. Now, Saw the Ride is it a Gerstlauer Extreme Coaster? I think it's by. Yeah, and it's themed to the Saw franchise if you hadn't found out. It's a really good ride overall, and I really enjoy it. I really like the theming because it's making the indoor sections terrifying. The height's good, the drop's good. People say it's rough. It is not rough in the slightest, but I don't know what they're talking about. The airtime is amazing. The versions are really snappy and good, and everything about it's just quite enjoyable, really. I don't know what else to say. It's just a really good ride, really good theming, and really good queue as well. It's really good. I like the queue. And the sense of speed to it is really good as well.
This is your stop.
But this is going to be controversial, but number 2 is Stealth. Because, okay, so you basically know what number 1 is now. I think it's worse than Swarm because I love Stealth, and it's not rough at all, and I love the speed to it. And I know this is the design of the ride, but it's just too short to be number 1. I love it, but I know it's meant to be like that, and I don't want it longer, but it's too short to be number 1. And that's why it falls into number 2 category, because I love the height, I love the speed, I love the intensity. It's just too short. Not short in height, short in length. But that's why. And that means you know what number 1 is. It's Swarm. Because Swarm is the second best themed ride in the park. Best is Saw, but it's still really well themed. The only wing coaster in the country. It's really good. It's very tall. It's definitely not the tallest, but I think it's second tallest. It's just so good. It's so smooth, really well themed. I like the wing over drop. The hang time is really good. The 0G roll is really good. Every part of it is just really enjoyable. I don't know why the trim brake's there, but it is, and it just does not hit at all. But the ride's just so good in general, and it can't be outmatched because it's a lot longer than Stealth 2. And that's basically the whole list. So if you enjoyed, please subscribe because it helps out a lot and it takes 0 seconds. You don't have to watch the videos, but I'd just like to gain subscribers, and share the video if you want. I don't know, but I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, and please leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm replying to any comment that's left. Like if you want a question or anything, I can reply. And that's about it. So see ya.
Don't worry, this is your stop.